Hello, this is a video about taking an array of strings and putting a comma in between each element, which should be quite simple, but it just came up in some work I'm doing with a SQLite manager. Here I happen to be using NSString, and I had a loop here which went through all the elements, putting a comma in between. And there's a much better way using map, and that's what I'm going to do within this video to show you how it might be done. So here I've set up a playground with some tests so we can see if it's working. So A on its own should output an A from the function. A and B should be A, B with a comma in between. A, B, C should return A, B, and C with a comma in between each. So the output string is just a string. So the naive way of doing this, so list represents our list of strings. So I'm going to append each element and a comma. Now this isn't quite going to work because A will append A with a comma, and then we'll append for the next element B with a comma. So what I'd like to do is just take out the last character. So if we run, hopefully we'll have passing tests for each one of these. Which is fine, but removing the last, it's all a bit messy and probably quite slow as well. So the alternative I came up with is the output string. So we append, and again, it's each element from the list, and we use map. So if I call each element once again, which gives us then a list, and then we can use joined, so it's joined by a comma. So what's going to happen is that it takes each element and joins them with the comma, and hopefully this is also going to work. And there's an obvious improvement for readability, or you could say a non-improvement that makes it worse that we might like to do. Instead of having element, we can use $0. So that says just for each element within the list, rather than naming it, I could just call it $0, which makes it slightly easier to type and arguably easier stroke worse to read depending on your style. And that's passed all the tests. So rather than having so many lines, we've just done it in a single line rather than having a loop.